Welcome to the Verdin Verdict Sports Show. I'm your host, Jacob Vernon, joined by my guy, G Sports. G, what's good? How you feeling?
Happy Memorial Day, man. What's good with you?
Happy Memorial Day. I'm chilling. We're talking about some LSU baseball today. The regional got announced. It'll be in Baton Rouge again. We skipped a year last year, but back in the BR, Alex Box will give you a little bit of a rundown on that. LSU decided to retire a jersey over the weekend. Charles Alexander will be hung in the rafters, fourth LSU football player overall. And we got another NIL update for you. Gee, it feels like we always talking about NIL. This thing ain't ever going to just be still. It's always changing. It's always evolving. But it's good. It gives us something to talk about. We got a dead period right now. We're going to have to make it do what it do. First things first, with LSU baseball, with the box, you do have playoff baseball on the way. How did this stadium get its name, though? I wanted to sit down, talk about this story a little bit, honor the troops on Memorial Day. Alex Box was a third baseman for the Tigers in the 1930s. He helped LSU win their first SEC baseball title, graduated from LSU, joined the Army, became a first lieutenant in World War II in 1943. He was deployed. He got killed in action at just 23 years old. And of course, LSU honored him by naming the baseball stadium after him. The original stadium opened in 1938, but after his passing in 1943, they renamed it after Alex Box. So shout out Mr. Box, shout out all the families. And as of right now, G, it's a historical site because you got the second regional in 3 years. You got 28 regionals all time. That puts them third in college baseball for the amount of times that they've hosted. Obviously, they're tied for the most natties in terms of 7 with Texas, or it might be Florida State. Either way, number 6 national seed. It all worked out. You had a little bit of fickle fans. You had some people calling out Jay Johnson, the rotation, the offensive schemes. But gee, that's you always got the people on the couch just sitting here saying, "Nah, I got it better. I know what we should do. I know how to put the lineups together. I know who we should throw out there." It don't matter. In 2 weeks, we're gonna have playoff baseball. How you feeling? What's your reaction to this? And do you think LSU could potentially swing their way to Omaha?
I haven't watched LSU baseball fully the whole year. I probably watched a total of maybe 4 to 5 games. I did get a chance to watch the Ole Miss game. I think that was a second time being shut out in the last 4 years. I think one thing that stands out about LSU baseball team is that 1-2 punch with their pitching is just as good as anybody in the country. And when you got two pitchers that could take the mound and throw the variations of pitches they can throw and go for as many innings they can go for, and keep people under 2 runs, 3 runs or less, that's usually good enough to win a baseball game. On the flip side of that, I feel like the offensive side is not as good as we're used to seeing at LSU. I think that they have some good hitters, but it's nowhere near what they had 2 years ago with Morgan and all them boys, and Dugas and those guys. I think that they're gonna have to be real strategic on how they get runs. Not in the regional part. I think they'll be fine right there. But when they get to the super regional, if they're fortunate enough to get to Omaha, they're gonna have to be real creative on how they get guys on base. How they, get runs in. Because this is not an offense that I think you're gonna see that's scoring 8, 9, 10 runs. They're gonna be around the 4, 5, maybe 6 runs. They could kind of accumulate throughout this playoffs that they're getting ready to embark on. But I think if they can make a run to Omaha, it's gonna have to be they're gonna have to rely on the pitching. If they pitching can stand tall, after those 2 studs that they got pitching, I think they could probably go 2, maybe 3 deep in their bullpen. If those guys can play at a high level, LSU is just as good as anybody. And I've always been a believer of, if you got really good, no, not really good. If you got elite pitching, you can make a run, bro. And hopefully they bats are hitting on all cylinders. But we'll see. But I think that the formula to success, bro, I think people and anybody that's watching LSU baseball, they know that 1-2 punch gonna have to play at a high level for them to be able to get to Omaha and have a chance.
I agree. Yeah, shout out to the pitching. It was one of the areas of a little bit of concern last year, I would say. And then you roll into this season, you got Gavin Guidry, who hasn't been able to play yet due to the injury. A lot of people wanted some guys to step up. I believe Anthony Ianson, all your Cade Andersons, guys like that. Yeah, they definitely answered the bell. Gee, Friday at 2 o'clock, you're going to see LSU take on University of Arkansas at Little Rock. And then at 6:30, game 2 will be University of Rhode Island and Dallas Baptist University. Look, people gonna overlook these teams. College baseball is different. You don't got to be a big name. You don't got to be a powerhouse.
For sure.
Anything can happen. Ask LSU softball with Southeastern. So this is something that I don't want people to overlook. This ain't gonna be a walk in the park. I'm not gonna lie, but if they advance, they're going to host that super regional. And like I said, you got 2 weeks of potential playoff baseball in the box. Hopefully, they're going to be able to shake it out and get it done.
Yeah, we'll see. Again, man, when you got 2 elite pitchers like that, I think they should be fine in the regional. I think they should be fine. I think, we talk about schools like Arkansas, Little Rock, and Dallas Baptist. They haven't seen elite pitching like they about to see when they play LSU. So, Rhode Island either. And then you got to realize the conference that LSU played in, 15 of them 16 teams is good enough to make a run at Omaha.
Yep.
That conference is that good. It's the best in the country. It's not even close.
Not
You know
even.
what I'm saying? So they battle tested, bro. I think they'll be good in regionals.
I'm glad you brought that up, G. Real quick before we hop out of this. Out of the 16 regional sites, 8 of them are SEC teams. Over half of the teams hosting it come from the biggest conference in college sports. So, yeah, battle tested, tried, true, and ready. I'm going to ride with Jay Johnson and the boys. Let's see what they can put together here during this playoff run.
And I want to say this, too. I know a lot of fans get on Jay Johnson. If y'all haven't seen and realized what he does every year in the SEC tournament, like, that dude don't really care about winning the SEC tournament, bro. Like, that's not on his agenda. I mean, if it happens, it's cool to add to your accolades. That dude thinking about Omaha, bro. And
exactly.
so the way he puts his lineups, the way he has his pitching rotation, you can tell that he's kind of just mixing and matching, trying to see who he could trust and see who he could rely on once the regional part start and have an opportunity to get to the Omaha, bro. So, LSU fans, I don't know how they haven't caught on to his pattern, but it's so damn funny to me how these fans go so crazy on how he does things when the SEC tournament comes, bro. He doesn't care about winning the SEC tournament. He doesn't care.
And it don't matter, G, because who is going to talk about an SEC title down the road when you could potentially be worried about national championships? Everybody here at this university, they know what the standard is. They know what they're capable of. They know what has happened in the past repeatedly. Shit, in his second year, it happened. All you got to do is keep the main thing, and that's putting rings on fingers. Yeah, the banners, the pennants, all that stuff is cool. They do have some crazy people hopping off on some wild takes. You hearing people bash on Jay Johnson, talk about he's like Les Miles. They should get rid of him, all this stuff. Pump the brakes. Second time hosting in 3 years. Let's see what happens. I got trust in OJ.
They'll be fine. They'll be fine.
Let's talk about this retirement of Charles Alexander's jersey. So, give you a brief history rundown on number 4. He was the first 4,000-yard rusher in the SEC, 2-time Heisman finalist. He had 40 touchdowns in one season. I had to just check that. Like, what the hell are we talking about here? That seemed incredible. Like college football 25 numbers. After his career, G, he held 27 school records. Number 3 right now in yards and in touchdowns, but he is still the all-time leader in rush attempts in a game, in a season, and consecutive 100-yard games. Now, as I said at the beginning of the stream, 4th LSU football jersey retired, 15th overall for all of LSU sports. What's your thoughts on this, and do you think more is coming? Because right when you see this, you know what's coming. Fans are talking about 5. They're talking about 9. What's your take, and do you think at some point, should you not retire every jersey? Should you save some jerseys for people, or just break that down for me? What's your thought process?
So what I want to know is what took him so long to say he's going to retire his number? Like, what went into the decision process for them to say we're going to wait over 2 decades and say we're going to retire Charles Alexander number? I don't know what goes into this. I don't know if somebody was advocating for it. Like, take me through that. All right. I'm not saying he don't deserve to have his jersey retired. I'm just trying to figure out what took it so long. I don't know if you know some insight that I don't know, but that's why I get confused at.
Yeah, I think that the weirdest part about all these things as well is just trying to like balance. I'm not saying the impact and the legacy, but like you do have a lot of history that you have to zoom back on and take a look at. And I feel like, in terms of looking at guys like Billy Cann, and obviously he's got the Heisman pedigree of it all. So that makes fans kind of lean towards the fact that if you get a Heisman in general, that you're going to get one at LSU. And my first I'm not gonna say problem with it, but my first like worry would be like, what if you get 10 Heismans in the next 20 years, G, and you got 12 numbers off the board? You're gonna get to a point where you got double zeros, you got 101 jersey numbers out there. You're gonna run out of things to hand out. Matter of fact, you already got 2 situations right now where 2 transfers came in, Mansour Delane, Nick Anderson. They've been repping number 4 through the spring, and it's still early. They didn't get to play no game in it yet, so it's not like it's theirs, but they already gonna have to make some decisions. So I mean, you're starting to see a little bit of the ripple effects here. I wonder what jersey numbers they gonna choose.
Yeah, I know. I think what number did man? So I don't know if he wore number 4 at Virginia Tech.
I'm
Did
gonna
he?
go double check. I'm pretty sure he did.
I know Nick Anderson wore 4.
Let's go
That's
double check on the
yeah.
old
I
dude.
don't
He
know
wore
if man. So
23. Big
yeah,
23.
yeah. Put 23 on. Who got 23? Colin Jackson had it last year, so 23 should be open. So he should be all right.
Let's take a look. LSU football roster. Do they got a number 23 on here for us? Nope. You got 22s, you got a 25, but you don't got a 23. Matter of fact, you don't got a 24 either. So you got 2 numbers.
I know. I know how them kids feel though. They be one of them single digit numbers. So I know he gonna probably feel some type of way, but he wore 23 last year, so it shouldn't be too bad.
Yeah, come on, keep the brand, keep the brand. Let's talk about this NIL update. It's always changing. Like I said at the beginning of the stream, you got Ted Cruz saying that people are just getting confused. The executive commission that Nick Saban and Donald Trump talked about would just throw too many chefs in the kitchen, I guess, for lack of a better analogy. He wants all hands on deck for this NIL framework to be worked on because that bill still is not passed. The final ruling by Judge Wilkins expected by July 1st. You got 30 days for it to be able to settle and get the court case all finished. There's a couple of new little wrinkles in this situation, though, G. There's a couple of things that I got to bring to everybody's attention. The first one, the biggest one, the most controversial one is going to be the redirection of broadcast deal money. The SEC, the Big Ten, big dogs. We talked about it last week. $1 billion to the Big Ten in terms of broadcast rights, $700 million to the SEC. And they're trying to, share the wealth a little bit. They're trying to break it around, give it to the smaller conferences, and I could see where this is going. Want to pick your brain about it, but do you think that there's a fallout here? Do you think that the SEC says, you know what? I'm good.
Why should the SEC have to share their revenue with these smaller conferences? They making all the money, they getting all the viewership, they got all the big time players. The NCAA, they're trying to make this an even playing field, but guess what? It's not an even playing field.
Not
The
at all.
SEC has the best talent, they have the best players, so they shouldn't have to share. And you keep poking the bell like this, and watch, you're gonna find the NCAA gonna find themselves with the SEC saying we're gonna do our own thing. I know people have been talking about this, and some people don't think it can happen. They better be mindful. What if the SEC and the Big Ten say, look, we're gonna form our own conference or our own league and do our own thing? I think you might see some schools might want to go join it.
Yep.
NCAA better be careful.
Better walk on some eggshells here because they own 2 feet to stand on. Matter of fact, run on. They're gonna be able to hit that road, make their own lane. You see it in different areas of sports as well. I mean, I'm gonna take a real sharp left turn here, but in soccer, you got the Premier League, you got your top teams that get invited to it, and guess what, G? If you lose, you get bumped out. It's only the top people in the Champions League, the Premier League, all these English soccer leagues. I could see a very similar situation.
Yeah, and I'm gonna tell you, if the NCAA lost the SEC and the Big Ten, bro, you know how much money they gonna lose all together?
Billions.
They better stop playing with fire, bro. They better stop playing with fire.
That'll be the internal collapse too, because the NCAA doesn't have much going for it in terms of just the way that people feel about them, the way that the decisions are made, the way that it's kind of like nothing's really consistent across the board. This could be an answer that I think
how much money did the SEC generate last year? I don't know if you could Google it.
Let's check it out.
Yeah, I will. I know it's the money they making every year is just astronomical. It's probably ridiculous.
Oh Lord! In revenue for the 2024 fiscal year, the SEC generated $808 million amongst the 16 universities.
Exactly.
Let's go look at the Big Ten.
Big Ten probably around about 400, 500.
Ooh, 928.
They passed the SEC?
That's what it's looking like.
That was just last year though.
Yeah.
That's not a consistent. I bet you consistently the SEC make more money though.
and both of them nearing that B mark, that billion mark. Ain't
Yeah,
no
yeah.
conference
Billy,
gonna
that
sniff that.
Billy,
With
around
the
that Billy
Billy,
mark. Yeah. So okay, so let's combine what that's 900, 800 million. Bro,
1.7.
the NCAA cannot afford to lose those two conferences. They cannot.
Cannot.
They
Let's see
cannot.
if Google would tell us how much money the NCAA generated as a whole, and then we can go ahead
Probably
and.
around, probably about 5 billion.
Oh my God, they okay. Google trying to confuse me here. They're saying that the revenue is nearly 1.3. Maybe that's them in their own right. But look,
1.3 billion.
yeah, and even if that's the NCAA in their own right, not counting the conferences, put that into perspective. G, you add those two conferences up, they're making more revenue than the whole entire organization. That's an eye opener. The only thing I think that can save them potentially is if the 16 team format gets approved, make everybody happy, you get your 4 auto bids, but you still got to walk on eggshells because this thing is far from over. Let's talk
For
about
sure.
that 16 team format because they did announce some changes. They announced some changes for this year. They announced some changes for next year. The first thing that I want to talk about is the fact that right now you got a straight seeding format. Everybody was talking about the buys, the auto bids, all these different things. They really weren't happy with it. They didn't think that, the top 4 last year was reflecting really who the top 4 was. So in a straight seeding format, you're going to go 1 through 12 in that order. The first 4 seeds are going to go. Don't matter if they won, lost at all in their conference championship. They're just going to slide right in there, and it'll prevent low-ranked conference champions from shaking up the rankings, trimming out your Ole Misses, whatever the case may be. Got a bracket for you to show you what the changes would be like. I'll highlight them for you. Texas and Penn State would have got a bye. Boise State would have slid from number 3 to number 9. Arizona State would have slid from number 4 to number 11. And it's not simply just giving those teams buys as much as it is also providing entirely different matchups. Who knows what would have happened in this situation? Clemson and Notre Dame battling in the first round. Maybe Notre Dame doesn't push all the way as far. Boise State and Indiana, you get one of those teams a chance to advance and win their first playoff game. Tennessee might be able to make it out of this round if they play in SMU. I know what people are going to say, though. And got a lot of reactions off rip. Some people are saying, oh, how can you do this to college football? This is going to change so much. This is going to ruin it. Look, G, sorry. I don't think a team like Boise State needs a bye. They made the playoff. Congratulations. You get your chance to cut your teeth, but you can't sit here and tell me that's a top 14. People are getting upset at the auto 4, but it's obvious who the top teams are and where they come from. We just went on a tangent about the Big Ten and the SEC, and quite frankly, it's all going to come from that. I take a 3-loss SEC team over a 1-loss Pac-12, ACC, whatever you want to call it. I would do that because it's the competition. It's the level of iron versus iron or iron sharpening iron that they continuously go through. I'm not faulting an Alabama or an Ole Miss for losing to 2 teams that are going to be playoff contenders when you got other schools and other conferences losing to people that aren't even ranked. I mean, you really have to zoom out and take a look at this whole entire situation. I think also another effect that people really aren't thinking about is you do add more legitimacy to the regular season now. All these conference matchups at the end of the year matter. You were worried about people like, oh, I don't want to win the title. What's the point of winning a conference championship when I get a harder seeding path or whatnot? You heard a lot of people hypothesizing that. Now I think you get more competition. If you're in the top 4 of your conference, every single game matters. G, don't matter if it's Kentucky, Vandy, Tennessee, every SEC matchup is going to be highlighted and emphasized. What's your take on this?
I think the team that would have benefited most if it would have been a line like that would have been Tennessee.
Yep.
Because they played Ohio State in the first round, right?
They did, and Dylan Sampson was banged up.
Yep, and in the cold. I think they play SMU first round, kind of get them playoff jitters out. Maybe Dylan Sampson don't get hurt. Even if he does, they probably still win the game. Other than that, I think things probably would have kind of went the same. I thought Tennessee got a raw deal going to Ohio State in the first round. That's just my opinion. I think, I even if Dylan Sampson doesn't get hurt, I don't know if they still win that game. I don't know. But that's the only team I see that probably would have benefited if it had been a line like that.
Yeah, I agree. We got Austin in the chat real quick. We're going to get to you. I ain't forget about you, Austin. I want to say one more thing about this. Final year, the 12-man format as well. They've announced it'll expand to 14 or 16 in 2026. I don't know.
Go to 16, got it. Just go to 16. If you're going to go to 14, might as well go to 16. Let's go.
Yeah, I don't even see the 14. What you doing? 2 buys and then you got a 12-man? Like, I don't get how they're going to.
Because you know what's going to happen? If they go to 14, then they're going to say, you know what? Maybe we should have went to 16. Then the next year, they're going to go to 16. So just go to 16 right now. Now, they got to stop at 16. Don't go past 16. That's not water this thing down. We don't need goddamn Arkansas State, who who was the 22nd best team or the 21st best team in the country in this playoff. We don't know. No.
Yeah, because once you get past, I mean, look, even at 16, you're pushing it. I don't know if they got 16 playoff contender teams.
I think 16, because that's that's half of the top teams in the country. So I think once you get around that 15 mark, I think that's enough. That's enough. So 16, I'm cool with it.
Yeah, because this is the point where it's going to be not necessarily the most even, but it's the most realistic path to be able to actually see the competition and play out.
Yeah.
And a lot of people that are outside the SEC are going to be pissed, and outside the Big Ten going to be pissed. But hey, you still got an opportunity.
And what I like about this, bro, it doesn't put so much pressure on a lot of these universities to go undefeated or just have one loss. If you in that top 16, you probably can still get in with 2, maybe 3 losses, depending on who those 3 losses came to. You feel what I'm saying?
Yep.
And what this is going to do, and I think we talked about this a couple weeks ago, this is going to stop a lot of kids from opting out. Because we still got hope to get to that playoff. And we all know they won't be on that stage. All right. And when you in that playoff, everybody in the country watching. NFL scouts, a lot of these GMs, people that's trying to get endorsements, they watching you on that stage. So I think this is gonna limit a lot of kids from opting out by expanding this to 16 teams.
Yep.
I like it, me. Because I get tired of, you start getting toward the end of the season. Now you find out Isaiah Bond. I'm just throwing a name out there. He's opting out. Now when we watching Texas, man, I'm looking to watch Isaiah Bond. Man, he ain't playing no more because they ain't got a chance to get to the playoff. This is going to stop and limit a lot of this. I like it.
And it's funny, too, because nobody's going to see it from that perspective. Everybody's instantly going to think college football is changing for the worse. But in that regard, it's helping it stay true to its roots. And people are overlooking that, going right over
there. Bro, think back years ago. I know you might be a little too young to remember this, but 10, 15 years ago, I used to look forward to watching those bowl games because they had star players on both teams that you wanted to watch, and star players on those teams that had an opportunity to get drafted, and they could have improved their draft stock playing them bowl games. Well, it's not like that anymore. When you add this to 16 teams, some of these guys that's draft eligible and have an opportunity to get drafted, they're going to be able to improve their stock by playing on these stages, and it's going to make them not opt out. I love it. Like I say, I wouldn't go past 16 teams, but I think this is going to help college football. This is one of the things that I am happy about how college football is evolving in these times.
Yep, and it's going to potentially help prevent that separation of SEC, Big Ten, and the NCAA.
Hopefully, the NCAA better be careful. Stop poking the bell, man. Stop poking the damn bell. Stop it. Let them people get all their money. Let the people get all their money and let everybody else get it how they live. That's just how I got to go. They got to get better.
Do better, NCAA. Come on. We need a college football commissioner, G. Throw your name in the hat. I'll vote for you. Come on. Let's get it done.
Put me in there.
Let's talk about these NBA playoffs real quick. Because, G, I'm going to let everybody know the deal. Wait, real quick. I ain't forget about you, Austin. He's asking, what time does LSU play on Friday? They play at 2 o'clock, and then he asked for DBU and Rhode Island. They play at 6 o'clock. LSU is going to play University of Arkansas at Little Rock as well, the number 4 seed in that spot. Didn't forget about you, my guy.
Come on, Austin, man. I know you got a smartphone.
Let's get it, Austin. All right, so on the May 9th stream, I ain't trying to sit here and say nothing. All I want to say is, guys, I'm pretty damn close to the prediction. I thought my mind was thinking Wolves, Pacers. It's looking a little grimy in terms of Minnesota. I don't know if Anthony Edwards is going to be able to put that Superman cape on and get it done. Pacers, though, jumped out to a 2-0 lead. We're on an absolute tear in New York City. They always say the series don't start until somebody takes one on the road. Gee, how about both of them? How about give me both of them things? Got their get back last night. The Knicks did avoid that 3-0 hole, but shout out to Indy because here's 2 things that I'm taking away from this. First off, Halliburton, a star. What the hell? He got a shout out to the man, tip the cap, whatever you got to do. He's a dog, absolute dog. Second thing that I take away from this, bro, they can come back from anything. I don't care if they're down 14,000, 14 million. Every single situation you put them in the late game, 2 minutes, 1 minute, half a minute, they're able to fight, claw, scratch, try to get back into this conversation. I think that the Pacers, look, if they take this next one, go up 3-1, maybe the Knicks get game 5. Maybe they go back to New York, potentially get a Garden, a little bit of a show, keep Spike Lee from passing out courtside. but it don't matter. By game 6, this thing's over with. I think that they did enough. I'm excited. I think half of my prediction at least is right. The other half, though, hey, I'm sweating. I ain't lying. What you think about this Pacers and Knicks series? Is it all but over? Is the fat lady about to start singing, or is Jalen Brunson gonna be him?
I'm a basketball junkie, and so I wouldn't mind seeing the Pacers get to the NBA Finals. Really good team. I love Halliburton. I love Nesmith. I love Pascal Siakam. I think he's the most important player on that team that people don't talk about. Having said all of that, if the Pacers get to the finals, I do think the view is gonna be down. I don't think a lot of people gonna watch it. I just think that it's gonna hurt the NBA Finals reads. So I'm torn if I want them to win this series or not, bro. You know, because I know it's gonna be more excitement, it's gonna be more views if the Knicks get there, and it's gonna be more to the storyline. You know, it's gonna be more anticipation. It's gonna be more people just tuning in to want to see Anthony Edwards in Madison Square Garden.
In the Mecca.
The storyline just gonna be a lot more exciting. You know what I mean? But what I saw from Karl Anthony Towns last night, I gotta change my stance on him and what I've been saying about him since he entered the league. I've always thought that Karl Anthony Towns was a super talented player, really good, but I always thought he was soft. You know, I thought you could find him on aisle 12, the taller people aisle. Man, was I wrong. I don't know what has happened since he's gotten to New York City. I don't know if the fans and the culture has gotten embedded inside him. But Karl Anthony Towns ain't soft, bro. This dude put the Knicks on his back with Jalen Brunson in foul trouble much of the game. He scored 20 of his 24 points in the fourth quarter. Getting ready to be on the brink of being down 3-0. I mean, he was doing it all. Hitting jumps, hitting three-pointers, getting to the goal, getting to his spots, finishing through contact, rebounding the basketball. I think he had 16 rebounds last night. He controlled the glass. You saw it in his eye. You saw the passion. You saw the mentality. I was wrong about Cat. Cat, I apologize. You ain't soft, bro. I don't know if somebody had to bring it out. I don't know. I don't know if Tom Thibodeau got to get some credit for this. I don't know. But you definitely ain't soft, and you definitely got my respect for as the mentality and when I talk about being tough. And you saved the Knicks season last night. What Anthony Edwards in Minnesota did to OKC the other night, that was unacceptable, to be honest with you. The way they blitzed OKC all game. I felt like OKC wasn't prepared. You should have knew they was gonna play desperate basketball. You should have knew they was gonna do everything in their power defensively to get y'all out of y'all rhythm, to get y'all out y'all spots. Shea did not play like himself at all. I think he had like 5 or 6 turnovers. He shot like 30% from the field. They just couldn't get in rhythm. Joe could not get going. I think Anthony Edwards was 5 for 8 from 3-point range, and he got to all his spots, 30 points.
Quick.
You know, but I thought the key for the Timberwolves was Shannon coming off the bench, the rookie. I want to say he scored 16 off the bench. That was big for them to have some kind of spark from that second unit. And they're going to need that if they want to have an opportunity to win this series. So I go back to my stance, man. I really feel like if the NBA Finals want to have a lot of people tuning in, the Timberwolves and the Knicks going to have to figure a way to get to the finals. If it's OKC and the Pacers, bro, a lot of people just not going to watch it. I'm going to watch it because I'm a basketball junkie, but I don't think a lot of people going to be tuning in.
2 small markets for sure. But yeah, 42-point victory for the Wolves the other night. They're going to play tonight at 7:30.
That's an anomaly, by the way.
Complete anomaly. What else is an anomaly is Ant outscoring the Thunder in the first quarter by himself. Playing 2K out there, buddy. Got takeover, hitting it down. All the green beans, whatever he got to do, getting it done. I want to tell you an interesting stat, G. I looked it up. I did some digging. I always try to find a little connection to be able to harp on. Shea earned his MVP honors. But the last 5 NBA MVPs, G, how many of them you think appeared in the finals? 1.
Not that many.
Joker. And look, he won 3 of the last 5. I know everybody that was going to be the first thing that popped in their head. So I went back and I looked at the last 10. Steph Curry's the only other one. And I'm not saying that it can't happen. And I'm not saying that it's a curse. All I'm saying is being the best player in basketball doesn't always necessarily guarantee you the NBA Finals. It's a team game. You got to have everything happen at the right time. You got to have all the cylinders being fired. I think OKC's an offensive powerhouse. I don't think the Timberwolves are a team to necessarily back down, though. They're deep. I've been rocking with them for a while, and I'm never going to fade on Anthony Edwards. I can see Ant taking over today at 7:30 if the Wolves can win this thing and even this series up, G. Here's my hot take. I got the Wolves and the Pacers. That's still my prediction. I'm still going to stand on it. I hope that it works out. But if tonight at 7:30 you see another one of those games, don't got to be a 42 Doug blowout or nothing like that. Just go out, get it done, get a W. It could be 1, could be 2, could be a million. Go out there, even it up, go back to Oklahoma City, and I think you got your head above water. If not, if you go down 3-1, it's over with. It's over with. I'm not going to lie. That 3-1 is the curse. I know 3-0 ain't never happened, and 3-1 has. And this point, with the way the momentum is going, you got to try to keep it on your side right now, and it's starting to stack a little bit for many.
I know with the Pacers, they better hope Nesmith is available for game 4. Because you saw when he got hurt, that changed the game too for the Knicks. Because he's their best defensive player. And Rick Carlisle came out and said he don't know if he's going to be available for game 4. If that doesn't happen, Benedict Mathurin, who hasn't really been scoring at a high clip this playoffs. I don't know what's going on in the regular season. He averaged 16 points a game. But in the playoffs, he has struggled. He has not looked like himself. So he's going to have to step up. And I think that's somebody they probably insert into the starting lineup if Nesmith can't go. But Nesmith has been really, really good defensively, dog. Like, he has done a great job. And he has really affected things offensively for the Knicks. So that's going to be key. But I think the Timberwolves get it done tonight. I think Anthony Edwards and Rudy Gobert, those two guys understand what's at stake right now. You tie this series up at 2-2. OKC gonna have a lot of pressure on them.
Turns into a 3-game series. Whole different ball game. The NBA playoffs are just playoffs in general. It's all about who can adjust. Because you one of the best teams if you can point your ticket into it, get into that little bracket, make your name known. But who's gonna be able to, handle that adversity? Have the next man step up, make the adjustments in a clutch. I think it's going to come down to a couple of key plays, a couple of key moments. Probably going to see one of them tonight here in Game 4 in Minnesota.
And I hope, man, Julius Randle, I think he's a really, really good talent. I hope he stays within himself tonight. Sometimes I feel like Julius Randle gets out there and he tries to get it all back in one play. Man, move the basketball, play good defense, pick your spots when you try to be assertive, but don't overdo it. I think sometimes Julius Randle in his playoffs and in this series particularly, the ball gets stagnant when he gets in his hand. There's no movement, and he kind of try to go ISO a lot of the time. They can't do that tonight because you can let OKC get rebounds, get turnovers, and get on the transition. That's what they want to do. It's going to be on and popping. It's going to be hard to stop them people. So I think they got to move the basketball, and I think Anthony Edwards has to be the one that ignites the offense. It can't be Julius Randle every time on the floor, in my opinion.
No, I agree. I just thought of something whenever you started talking about Julius Randle. If the Wolves and the Knicks meet up, G, it's going to be
storyline. That's what I'm trying to tell you.
It's going to be some emotions.
Anthony Towns and they switch places.
Oh, my God.
A lot of people were saying the Knicks won the trade. Some people were saying that the Timberwolves won the trade.
Let's find out.
If they meet up in the finals, well, to me, both of them won the trade, right? Yeah, and that's gonna be something that everybody gonna be paying attention to. That's why I'm telling y'all, the Timberwolves and the Knicks, I hope they find a way to get it done. I hope they find a way to get it done, bro.
We're gonna put it to the test. Real deal.
Yeah.
No BS.
Let's get it.
Tonight
can you imagine Anthony Edwards in Madison Square hitting shots and then looking at Spike Lee like, what's up? Jay-Z in the crowd, Melo.
Gary V.
Come on, man.
Come on.
John Starks. Got to make it happen. Anthony Towns saved the Knicks season last night, bro.
He really did. Shout out to him. I'm gonna be interested to see how it works out. Got a little bit of a bias here because I do want to have my clip. I want to go out there and replay. Yeah, I might have been able to predict it, but hey, I'll take whatever happens. I'll take whatever. Knicks in there, I agree. Will be a huge storyline. Will be a big market. Plus, I think it will kind of freshen some things up a little bit. All I want though whatever happens this year, it don't matter, G, because you know who I'm rooting for in 2026 to get to that finals. I'm in Houston right now. Giannis Antetokounmpo, where you at, dog? I'm gonna go to the airport and wait. Where's Giannis at? I need to see
I'm
him.
just waiting for the alert to come to the bottom of my screen on my phone.
I'm gonna cry. We're
I'm
gonna
just
hop on
waiting
the
for it to
stream.
happen. And I
Yeah.
promise you, all my partners that I'm in group messages with, they're gonna have to block me.
Oh yeah, I'm gonna be a menace.
They're gonna
First
have
thing
to
I gotta
remove me
do.
from the group because I'm gonna be talking stupid.
What? Talk about? I'm getting the Giannis jersey in red and white and the alternate. I'm buying a swingman. We getting a throwback. I might even get a custom and put Greek Freak on the back of that thing. Gee, we gonna be dripped out. I ain't even gonna lie. It don't matter.
Look, I don't remember the last time I bought a jersey, but guess what? I'm gonna buy a jersey if Giannis come.
Yeah, instantaneously. They might as well send it to me right now. I'll pay for it right now.
Just as long as A-Man Thompson ain't part of that trade.
Or
I'm good.
Sengun. Yeah, Amen Thompson cannot get departed from here because I just ranted about that yesterday. Gee, how long did it take for them to be able to cut their teeth, get all these picks, get that young foundation going? They had to suck for 3 to 5 years, just straight getting back. Don't go through that again. First off, my emotion, my heart, I can't take it. I can't sit through that again. Half a decade of just trash basketball after 8 playoff years in a row. No. Don't do that to me. I don't deserve that. But you hit the nail on the head every single time in the draft. Hell of a draft. Got a bunch of young pieces. Got all the picks. Finagle something. Come on, Fertitta. Come on, Ime. Let's do something. Put your thinking caps on. Daryl Morey ain't in the building no more. And I ain't trying to throw shots. I'm just saying we don't got the Mad Hatter.
Daryl Morey might not have a job next year. He lucky he still got his job today. After
really
the deals he made in Philly. Lord, Jesus Christ.
He really lucky. And look, I'm gonna count my blessings here because I think we getting close. We're on the cusp or something. It'll be interesting to watch. I appreciate your time, G, on this Memorial Day. What you cooking today? You hitting the grill up or what?
Man, look, I was at the Typical alumni picnic yesterday, and I'll tell you, bro, I went to HL Booze while they took Kenny. I had a lot of to-go plates that I brought home. So I ain't cooking nothing today. You know, I got a couple of my cousins that's barbecuing today. I might swing by, but I ain't cooking nothing today, bro. I got some leftover. I got a smothered baked potato with crawfish stew over it. Oh my God.
Oh my God. Oh my Lord.
Oh man. I got grilled chicken breasts. Man, I got smothered green beans, smothered cabbage.
Oh my God.
Yeah. I brought like 5 to-go plates home yesterday.
You had one in each arm.
Yeah. No, I had a bag. I was walking out like this.
Secure the bag.
Yeah. I secured the bag on the way out there. I left when Boosie was what song he was singing when I left out. I forgot, but he had it rocking though. Yeah, he had it rocking, bro. He had it rocking. Shout out to Thibodeau, man. Shout out to Dochilla, man.
Let's get it. Hey, I ain't gonna be doing no grilling today. Y'all see this, boy? It's pissing outside. I'm gonna be sitting here. I don't know what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna have to whip something up here. I appreciate everybody for tapping in though. Happy Memorial Day. Appreciate your time, G. Y'all know the drill. We'll be live again Wednesday at 12:30 p.m. Go follow my guy on Twitter, on Facebook, on YouTube. Got every link in the description. Y'all have a good one.